Take one. So, my name is Matthew. Um, I haven't done YouTube in a good while, but that is because I was at school and life. But I'm finished now, and as far as I know, God has led me to share my testimony as far as I know. And basically, I just start with this. It starts from when I was a child. I realized that I would things that would interest me or that would be very joyful for me. I would kind of like make them the forefront of like my entire thought. Like I would obsess about it, try to learn everything about it. I desired to have it. If it was like, for example, if I was into dinosaurs and I would learn about the dinosaur and I would try to get toys and all those different stuff. And I would try everything in my power to get. I was very determined and persistent, and basically, like these obsessions, and was like something I noticed throughout my entire life. I feel like in my life there wasn't a single period I was not, you know, fully wasn't obsessing about a particular thing. And if I ever got tired of said thing, I immediately jumped to something else and was obsessing about that. And the obsession, I believe, was so bad that, like, I'll give you an example. I remember that when I was in high school, I started getting into cars, and because I was so determined, when I found one car, and it's no way to glorify it, it's some dumb car now, but it was a Lamborghini Huracan Performante. I remember that I wanted that car so bad that I literally went on the website, searched up the car because they allow you to customize it, got the price for my so-called dream car or whatever, or how much the car would cost. And what I did was I literally proceeded to go search up jobs that I could do to get said car. And when I found one that suited me, that, you know, wouldn't be too long of years in school or whatever, I literally proceeded to calculate out how much overtime I would have to work. I calculated out taxes, I calculated out groceries, money. Keep in mind, I literally am not even, I don't think I'm old enough yet to even drive a car. And I'm obsessing this hard about a literal car. And which is literally led to my career choice where I am right now, God turned that around. But it was the obsessions were very, very bad, and in my opinion at least, and to my other family they would say I would be obsessed. And I remember that when basically with all these obsessions, that I realized they weren't it. There was always something, I know someone that was missing, and I guess I didn't really notice it because I would just be jumping from thing to thing. But now that I look back on it, it wasn't fulfilling or satisfying. And basically, like towards the time when Jesus is about to save my life, I remember that it was, I believe, in the middle of my first degree, and I literally was on, I think, in the summer term, just finished the spring and I was entering into the summer, and I realized, oh, I have a lot of free time. And during that time period, I like the context of that period, I basically was really into video games. That was the thing at the time. So much so that I literally beforehand had risked my own education in high school to sell stuff at school, not illegal things like candy, but at my school at the time they didn't allow it. So I could have gotten suspended, and I was someone who took my education very seriously. I would cry if certain things happened in my grades. Like, it was, so for me to do that was crazy as it is, but I did that in order to get a console for this video game. So back to the story. Or tale. I went right. I in this time with video games, obsessed with video games, playing video games, and I had just had a breakup with this British girl I was dating. Wonderful relationship, but it ended kind of down. But I'm gonna be honest. This point, that was it hurt a little bit, but I think I got over it like 2 weeks. But because I had the break, I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna chill, play my video games, get through school, do what I gotta do before I go to UE and get my actual degree. And basically, like, I'm someone I'm very competitive, and I kind of go all in when I like something. And basically, when I play the video games, I would basically play for days, days, and all nighters, and I would train very hard. I think the game that really took it off was like this game called Fortnite at the time, and I would just play it when everyone was playing it and stuff. And I really got into it, and basically, what happened with that game is that, like, whenever I lost, I would be really angry, as anyone would be, because people are very cruel in that game. And basically, I would kind of take it to heart, but like I would try to get better with this equipment I had and stuff. And basically, in the midst of me trying to get better and practicing and stuff, I basically would just be in these I think they call the playground stuff, just practicing on by myself and training. And I would just play music and start thinking about life. And in the midst of all these things, like, I'm thinking back on my life, like, and noticing a cycle that I would seek after things that I wanted, and whether I got the thing or not, it would never be enough. And I would realize the unsatisfaction, and that it was a pointless, cycle of trying to get something to satisfy, never satisfy, have to get more, never satisfied, keep going more into depravity. Especially with me as a young man, I was exposed to, like, a young man porn and all these things, and women. So I noticed that especially in there, with pornography addiction just getting worse and worse and worse. And even with the video games and just anything, it was just getting worse. Me having to do more and more to get the same sort of satisfaction. And another thing I had realized was that no matter how much effort I was putting into literally anything in this world, it would end up, I would die and leave it, and it wouldn't be, what's the point, right? You work all this time burning yourself out to the point of exhaustion, and then all your stuff is just, all the things that you work for, just nothing, just for absolutely nothing. And I'm gonna be honest, like, after I had these realizations added with the losses, I got really down. I was like, what's the point, man? I try so hard all the time, and like, it just doesn't work out, and it doesn't matter anyways. And even though I was still playing the video games, despite those, realizations, because I was addicted at the time, which I didn't realize, I would still, I also thought about God, and the point of just life in general, and I knew that there had to be a God, because another detour, from very young, I was into science. I watched a lot of documentaries, went to meet the government at where I was living, because I had wrote some essay in primary school that I guess they thought was like applaud worthy or whatever. So I would say, like, I already knew a lot about the universe, and I knew that there had to be a God, because I knew that everything in this universe is going to die, and something has a beginning. There has to be something that made that beginning, and it was God. So back to this, I knew that there was a God, but I didn't seek him. I basically I just kept going in a downward spiral of having these realizations, keep losing, getting more sad, to to the point where I was so, I guess, depressed. I don't know if it would be depressed, correct me if I'm wrong, that like the things that I used to find pleasure in, I no longer found pleasure in. That daunting reality just was the forefront of my mind, and I felt like I wasn't, I was hopeless or depressed or despair, and like I literally loathed waking up in the morning. I wanted not to be alive, but I didn't, want to kill myself because I know that's not good. And I have a Jamaican mother, so it's not the first time I have stuff like that. So it's not my first time dealing with those kinds of thoughts. So I knew that killing myself wasn't the option. I wasn't doing it. So basically, just continually going deeper into depression and sadness and hopelessness, and even my own sin, which for me that was the point where I was like, okay, something is actually happening. Like the women, I didn't even care about women. If there's one word I could have described myself, I was a ladies' man. I loved women. I was going after women. If a woman gave me attention, I would treat her and love her and stuff like that. I didn't even care about that. I was numb. I felt so much sadness, depression, just I like crying and grieving. It was horrible. I'm gonna be honest. I don't wish that upon anyone. And my family, they noticed I was sad and stuff, but they didn't really know the deep depths of it, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them for any of this. If anything, I think I was, during this whole period of me going through these things, quite a jerk to my mom. Sorry, mom, love you. But and my sister. But basically, when all of these things are happening and it's just keep getting worse, what I thought I could do to just distract myself from this daunting, truthful reality of life, I went on TikTok and I was just like, oh, watching memes, get a little laugh, not focus on the daunting reality that your existence is virtually meaningless and everything you do is going to end in death. And the funny thing is, even though I didn't seek God, even though I knew that there was a God, he grabbed me and he saved me. I don't know how God does it, but he's God. I didn't type in a single Christian thing. I know that from my life, I can say that on my, I can't swear because what Jesus says, but I'm so serious. I didn't type in a single, I don't remember searching up no Christian stuff. And it's like my feed was just being flooded with prayers, with evangelism, like distinctly like Billy Graham particularly. I remember that preacher so bad. I'm pretty sure God used him to save me. And I remember feeling, from going absolutely numb to like not feeling anything but pain, and to my heart being like softened, and I actually felt convicted. And when I was hearing about sin, and the thing is like I was raised a little bit in church, go to church like two times per month or whatever. But I'm gonna be real with you, I didn't know Jesus at all. I'm so serious when I say that. Like, even though I was kind of raised in church, I know as a fact that like I didn't know him. Like, he was not at the forefront of my mind. I was just obsessed about me, myself, and I'm grateful that God used that to save me, and that he saw me and he gave me purpose. And I'm agree with you. If Jesus is the only purpose, like I don't know if he will help me to articulate this, like if you're not rooted in Christ, and I mean this in the most loving, blessed way I can say this, your life has no meaning. You can say whatever you want, but we both know in your heart that if there is no God, right, that life is just a bunch of atoms, a bunch of this and that, and a meaninglessness, and you're just going to be living your life for a bunch of temporary pleasures that never satisfy you, right? That sucks if you ask me. That's not a life that's worth living, filled with so much death, destruction. But when Jesus found me, like he found the one that went astray, in 99, he showed me that he's the one thing that can satisfy. He will show you things far greater than you can even comprehend, and if you will experience him, his care for you, even when you may not feel it, he reminds you through answering your prayers, through his little, reading scripture, that he loves you and he sees you. And I'm just saying, like, I hope this testimony helps anyone, and if you haven't, give Jesus a chance, for real, because no, you need to, I can't urge you, put your faith in Jesus, for real, because he's the reason for living, he's the reason for anything, because, trust me, the one thing I can say from that day onward, I don't know the exact day I got saved, but I know that God had changed me. The things that I used to want to do, I could do, without even a care in the world, like the whole porn thing, the whole cussing people, like, I knew that my life was no longer mine and that I was given, like, new desires. Like, I wasn't only caring about me, I was like, I wanted to please him. I didn't want to displease him because of all that he had done for me. And I genuinely believe that he made me born again, and after that it's just experience after experience and just testimony after testimony. God has been faithful, and I'm just letting you know, if you're not saved, don't be afraid to be saved, right? And I'm gonna be with you. One of the things that I admired about Billy Graham was that whenever he would preach the gospel, he always made sure to give the whole truth. Being a Christian has been the hardest thing of my life, right? It's hard. I'm just gonna be real with you, but it's true. And it's better to live the truth and it be hard than live a lie and it's easy, because you have so much more purpose. Your pain has purpose, like, and I'm telling you, God is so patient with you. He loves you very much, and you don't have to be perfect, right? All he wants is your heart. Just give him that, and what I mean by heart, like, just please him. Just truly love him, and remember, if you love him, you want to keep his commandments. Just like if a husband and a wife, like, love each other, you're not gonna go cheat on each other when you're trying to be faithful and stuff. And I'm not talking about no worldly stuff where you're polygamy, this and that. I'm talking about a faithful marriage. Like, I'm just saying, like, get to know him for real. Like, I'm telling you, he changed my life, and he can do the same for you. Deuces. I don't know if that's it. Yeah. Adios, and I hope this testimony was a blessing to you as he was a blessing to me. God bless you guys. Have a great rest of the year.